This week's parasha is Parashat Shelach. And at the end of this week's parasha, we find the law of the tzitzit, of the fringes which one is supposed to put on the corners of one's garment. And the tzitzit have a special purpose. The Torah tells us, "Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'eloheichem," so that you remember all my commandments and are holy to God. Interestingly, the very next parasha also brings up this issue of sanctity, of holiness. Korach is the leader of a rebellion against the leadership of Moses and Aaron, and his claim against the leadership of Moses and Aaron is, "Ki kol ha'ida kulam kedoshim, uvetocham Adonai, umadua titnasu al kahal Adonai." The entire community, the entire congregation is holy. So why do you, Moses and Aaron, lift yourselves up against the people of God? And this juxtaposition raises a question. One would tend to think that the argument of Korach is accurate. After all, the people are holy. We just read in the end of our parasha that the tzitzit are meant to remind us of holiness. And so the question is, what was Korach's mistake, and how is it different than what we are taught in our parasha? And I would suggest that there is a fundamental difference between two conceptions of holiness. The holiness that our parasha teaches us is holiness as a goal, holiness as a destination which is always beyond reach. It is our job to strive for holiness, but never to think that we have achieved it. True holiness is only held by God, and it is our attempt to emulate God which is encapsulated in the Jewish way, the striving for holiness. The mistake of Korach in next week's parasha is the assumption that the Jewish people have attained that we are there, that we are by nature a holy people. That is a dangerous concept in which we can feel privileged and somehow spiritually superior and therefore entitled to something which is not the entitlement of other people. And so the combination of this week's parasha and next week's parasha teaches us an essential and important lesson. We must always strive for holiness, and we must never feel that it is in our pocket. We must always judge ourselves with harshness and with expectance for greater levels of spiritual attainment that are always beyond our final reach.